Okay, guys, we're going to take notes on rational and irrational numbers today. Let's start with the rational numbers side. Rational numbers are like everything we've been studying so far for most of your mathematics career. Don't mind the bell, it goes through my head day and night. Whole numbers are like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. Integers are positive and negative whole numbers, including 0. So these bring in the negatives. Okay, it is not pronounced integer, it is integers. 0 listed by itself separately because it is so important. It has very many rules that are kind of different and unique to the 0. Now, square roots of perfect squares, this would be like the square root of 64 because we can solve it and it's a whole number. The square root of 9, we can solve it, it's a whole number. The square root of 100, we can solve it, it's a whole number. You know what fractions are. We're talking 1/2, impropers like 5/3, even -2 and 1/9. Okay? And then decimals that repeat or terminate. So repeating decimal would be like 0.3 repeating. Terminating would be like 0.75, like 3/4 would equal that. It can be a -2.4 repeating. It can be a 9.432 where only the 2 repeats. Okay, if it's a terminating, it can be like 1.56 or -2.8. All of these end, and that's where the word terminate comes in, or terminator, like Arnold Schwarzenegger. Okay, let's go over what irrational means then. Okay, irrational, I do think not rational. These are not terminating, so they can't end, and they also can't repeat. So where are these numbers and what are they? Well, they are typically square roots of non-perfect squares. For example, the square root of 82. Well, the square root of 81 is 9, but the square root of 82 would be 9 point something, and it would go on forever, and it would not repeat, and it would also not end. The square root of 60, because where we know that 7 times 7 is 49, 8 times 8 is 64. It would fall somewhere in between there, but it would be a non-terminating, non-repeating decimal. The square root of 55, the square root of 3. If it's the square root of a perfect square, we're over here. But square roots of non-perfect squares is like everything else. Those are all irrational. Okay, pi. So pi is the relationship between the circumference and the diameter of every circle. Pi goes on forever, but it does not repeat itself. The first few digits are 3.141592, but there is no end to those, so it goes on forever. There's even a high school competition where people have to try to memorize as many numbers and as many digits of pi as they can. Now, this one is also an irrational number. It's non-terminating, non-repeating again, but it changes a little bit every time. See this? 2.13, 113, 1113, and it's going to keep going. It's not an exact repeater. It changes a bit every time. This is 46.16784633, blah, 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 blah. It goes on randomly, and that means it is also non-terminating and non-repeating. How you like that? Now, this number might be rational, it might be an integer, it might be a whole number, and it might be irrational. So you have to determine what it is and what it's not. Well, 6 is a whole number, and as we saw at the very top of our list, whole numbers are rational. So that's a yes. It says put an X in all boxes that apply. It's also an integer because that's a positive or negative whole number. It's also a whole number because it's a whole number, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Those are like what we learned how to count with, which makes it not irrational, and so we're just gonna leave that blank. Now the square root of 100. that is 10, which makes it rational, integer, and whole because it equals a whole number and it makes sense, so it's irrational. 1.28, remember that in our list, decimals, if they repeat or terminate, meaning either they go on forever in a repeating fashion or they don't go on at all and they end, they are rational. It's not an integer though because that's a positive or negative whole number. It's not a whole number because it's not a whole number, so therefore it's just irrational, just rational. Now the square root of 24, think about this. 5 times 5 is 25. So the 25 would be a square root of a perfect square. 4 times 4 is 16. So this would be somewhere in between those two. This ain't that, or that, meaning it is irrational. Because this is the square root of a non-perfect square. Negative 3 1/2. Well, that looks so weird, but it's rational. It is a fraction, and that can be negative. It's just rational. It's not an integer because it's not a whole number. It's not a whole number because it's not a whole number. So it's just a rational number. And this one's so weird, but it repeats. And that's fine if it's negative, as shown in our examples. So that's rational. It's just not an integer. It's not a whole. And of course, it's not irrational if it's rational. Now let's compare those. Okay, so just different kinds of rational numbers saying which would eat the other, or which would the alligator eat. So these, if you look at a number line, you've got 0 here. We're into the negatives. Negatives are here. So negative 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that would be here. 6, 7, 8, that would be here. Like, keep going. So negative 8 is smaller because it's farther to the left. I'm not going to show everyone with a drawing because it's too difficult, but what I would say is a great tip is it's the opposite of what it would be if it were positive. I'm just going to write the opposite of positives. And then I'm going to grab this whole mess here and shrink it down so that we can remember it, but it's also not taking up our entire life. So when we do these, I would say use this rule as it's going to help you. So if this were 4.1 like $4.10 and this were 4.9 like $4.90 and they were positive, this would be more. And so when they're negative, this is more. Okay? Now for our fractions, I like to use a trick, and that will be this one, and this one. My trick is easily used on positives as well. 3 times 3 is 9. 5 times 2 is 10. And they need to be negatives. But if this were positive, the 10 would be eaten. But they're negatives, so it's the opposite. Now 11 times, we're going to do the same thing right here. 11 times 6, that's 66, but it's negative. 12 times 5 is 60, but it's negative. If these were positive, 66 would be bigger. Think money, you want $66 more than you want $60. But it's negative, and therefore this one's bigger, meaning it's not as far to the left on the number line like this. We're going to use the trick again here. 2 times 3, that's 6, make it negative. 4 times 1, that's 4, make it negative. If they were positive, the 6 would be bigger, but they're negative, so it's the 4. Let's go here. Well, this is 2.1 with a lot of ones, okay? It is negative, so we can't forget that. This is just negative 2.1. If these were positive, this would be more because instead of zeros, this has ones. But it's negative, so it's going to go the other way, like that. Feel me? Okay. Now, when you list these least to greatest, there's a few things you must know. Number 1, they got to go back in their original form. So if you turn them all into something like decimals, as I suggest, that's great, grand, and wonderful. However, you still have to turn them back to their original forms to write them on the line that you see here. Okay, so like for instance, looking at these, I'm going to go all decimals because if you don't have a great sense of your fractions and negative fractions and where that would all be, this will probably be a lot easier. You may or may not want to do it this way. It's up to you. But I know that 5/4 is 1 1/4, which makes it 1.25. This is already done for us, 1.5. This is a negative 1.5 because 3/2 is 1 1/2. And this is already in a decimal form at negative 0.5. So of course my negatives are going to be smaller, and if they're least to greatest, then that means I'm starting with the very smallest, and so that would be more negative here than this is. Think money. If I owe somebody $1.50, I'm more in debt than if I just owe them 50 cents. So this is going to be our first and our second. Now, $1.25 versus $1.50. This is not $1.05, it's $1.50. Did you like that? All right, I was very passionate. So then $1.25 or 1.25 would come next, and then $1.50 would be last, or 1.5. Now, no, you can't just leave them like that and your teacher can figure it out. No. You will write them correctly on the line provided, and thank you very much. Now, that means 1 comes first, so I'm going to go negative 1.5. Whoops, no, I'm not, because that's not in its original format. Did I do it on purpose or didn't I? You'll never know. Now, if this is a 1, this is a 1. If this is a 2, this is a 2. If this is a 3, this is a 3, and this is a 4. Now they're back in the original form if I'm looking up here. So negative 3/2, negative 0.5, 5/4, and then 1.5. They're in their original form. They have their negatives. You're done. Because I'm bored with purple, we're going pink. Let's look at this. 6/11, negative 1.5, 0.545, also known as 545 tenths, hundredths, thousandths, and 1/2. Again, I'm going to recommend that you turn these all into decimals, and some are already there, so that's just great. Now 6/11, you've got to do 6 divided by 11. Well, something that you might not know that I do is that's 0.54 with the 5/4 repeating. See, 11s are sneaky little devils. They're a lot like 9s. They require everything to go repeating. And so 11s do that, just like 9s and actually thirds also do, 1/3, 2/3. Now, this bad boy, it's nice enough because he's already in a decimal form. This one over here, excuse me, pardon me. You go over there. Thanks. Now this one, well, already in the form we need. Well, 1 second, I'm taking up too much room. Let's squeeze him in there. 0.545, not a negative, and that, of course, as we know, is 0.5. Okay, well, we only have 1 negative, so he's obviously going to be the least. Then we got to look at these two. Well, this is like 500, and this is 545. They're not negative. And so, as you might guess, this one's going to be second. This one's going to be third because it's bigger. And then this one's going to be fourth because it's going to go 5, 4, 5, 4, 5, 4, 5, which makes it more than this. Now, if this is 1, then this is 1. If this is 2, then this is 2. This is 3, and this is 4, meaning they're already in order up there. I mean, they're already in their original form, I should actually say. And so that's how we're going to write them. Negative 1.5, comma, then a half. Just positive, all fine and dandy. And then 0.545. And finally, 6/11. Sounds so boring compared to all the rest of that, doesn't it? Poor little guy. Okay, now it's back in its original form, in order least to greatest, and we're done. Of course, if you have any questions after all of this, you should be asking your teacher, or you can always ask your parent for help, please. Okay, have a great day.